Hey buddies, Jim from Jim's Coleus. So, hey, ever wonder how I get my coleus so huge and how I keep them that way, how I keep them healthy and you know, when did this just happen? How'd you get them that way? Was it just this week, last week? Is it something magical that I'm doing to get my coleus like this? No, not really. It's pretty easy, and you know what? Follow along, and I'll show you how to do this very, very easily. You have to put a little effort in, yeah, like anything, but it's not difficult. Ever wonder about fertilizing your coleus? Well, I'm going to explain to you the numbers on your plant food, and there's so many different plant foods out there. Which is really the best, and maybe what you can tweak along the way to boost your coleus, and maybe you're using the wrong fertilizer, which is making your coleus leggy, and maybe you're using the wrong fertilizer. So follow along. We'll go through some of my coleus, and I'll explain to you and make it really easy to understand what those little numbers, the three numbers, 15, 30, 15, 5, 52, 10, 10, 50, 15, what those numbers mean, and what you need, or what these guys need, to keep nice and full, healthy, and continuing to grow. Okay, so let's go check it out. If you know about plants, plant food and so forth, different plants require different mixtures. Your three numbers are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen is your most important. Phosphorus is good for rootings, good root. It's good in the beginning. Stuff for coleus have monster roots, so I don't need to really boost the roots, the root structure, because roots on coleus plants, once they get into a pot, they just take over. So I don't need a high phosphorus content. And then we have the potassium, which is just maintains the health of the plant, and strong stems. It keeps it nice and strong. And of course, nitrogen is like water to us. I mean, it's needed by all plants. So for coleus, I recommend a liquid or water soluble fertilizer with a low phosphorus, a low second number. So that's why I like to use the Miracle Grow green plant food, general plant food. It's not for flower blooms. It's 24 nitrogen, 8 phosphorus, and 16 potassium, and it works wonders. And you won't you'll rarely see yellowing on your plant, your leaves and so forth, which is a common legginess, and yellowing of your leaves is common for too much phosphorus. So stay away from the phosphorus. You don't want to put 0, but just keep a low phosphorus, because it does need phosphorus, but you don't need nearly as much. So anyway, this needs to be trimmed again. You can see it's really in really wonderful shape. And here's my other. This is one of my other monsters that it's doing pretty well. And this is a fishnet stockings. Again, I commonly call it black stockings, but it's fishnet stockings. And there's a black cherry, and that needs to be trimmed also. Now this is on a really sunny, you can see this is on a really sunny location, and that's normally where I keep the 2 monster Saturns. So they were out here for an hour or so in the full sun, and they started to wilt. So this is what I do pretty much every day. I'll move them over here on this side of the house, just to give them a break, so they're not baking out in the sun all day. And within another couple of hours, I'll move them back over here, because as the sun starts to set on the western side, this becomes shady, and it's fine. They do fine here. And again, here's another nice mixture. And again, I do this every season. And a common question people ask is, how do you get it that fast? How do you get that so, how do you get that plant so, huge and full and stuff? And when did it start to get like this? It didn't go overnight. I plan these out every season. I wait until, again, as I mentioned in the opening of the video, I wait, and that's a mistake I make every year, and I try not to, but you're so determined and psyched to get into, you want these coleus, you want these big monsters now, in March and April, I want to get my coleus. But I learned each year in New Jersey with our frost zone, you're not going to get big your plants are not going to be like this and maintain like this until July, August, September. So basically July, August, September, October, and then they start to decline depending on each winter. And each winter lately it's been warmer later, but by then these are already well into the seeding cycle depending on what I want, and they'll start to decline once they start seed stalking. But anyway, this has been like this for a good month, all through the July. I've trimmed this about 3 times as well. And again, this is about as high as I keep it. It's a nice full, and I just go around, again, as previous videos, I just go around, turn it around. I always turn this around. Every couple of days, I'm always back in my yard, and let me move that. I haven't rotated it, just to give different plants, give different areas of the plant some aspects of light. And this, you can see here, it's kind of lopsided on this side. So we'll turn that. But the other, obviously the other thing is I don't want to hide this. So that's another reason why I kind of keep it like this, because you really have to, weigh what it is you want to do. I mean, we want to enjoy these coleus, and this is a beautiful. And this is it. This is what I grow them for, so I can enjoy looking at them. They look beautiful in my yard. So I don't want to hide this. These are Defiance, really healthy Defiance, just really nice. And some rose. These aren't rose Kongs. These are Kongs. I think they're wizard Kongs. I gotta look. There's a few variations of the wizards. Kong rose are really beautiful. I believe these are wizard Kongs. Really beautiful. And there's another variation of Kong. So, and there's some. I don't believe these are painted nettles. I gotta look. They might have come out from a painted nettle or a combination of a neon green. But this is a beautiful arrangement. So it's doing well. I just gave it a shot of the Miracle Grow. Again, I mix it. The green box, general purpose, 24 nitrogen, 24, 8, 16. 24 nitrogen, 8 phosphorus, 16 potassium. And I do it every week, every 7 to 10 days, every 7 days or so, I feed them. And it's important. And I'm very lucky. I'm extremely lucky that I have no insect problems. So I have the Safer insect soap, and I only use that. I don't use that preemptively. I only use it if I know I have insect problems. If I see insect problems, I'll use it. Otherwise, I don't, because the stuff is effective, but it's stressful. So if you don't have insect problems, you don't use it. And this one I'm sure you're familiar with. I just snipped a bunch off of this here. There was a lot of ripped. We recently had that hurricane or tropical storm that came through. It was a lot of wind, but I had these. I took all my pots, I put them in the garage or my greenhouse so they didn't get really damaged, because they would have really been, at this height, they really would have been destroyed. So I did that. So, but I just gave this a good trim, snip. Had a lot of really high growth. These jitters over here, really strong. Look at that. Look at a nice stem.
Let's try to get that focused in here. So look at that nice stem. Again, that's the third number, the potassium, that gives nice strong, really thick, nice strong stems so they can withstand, they can keep growing. So that's why you got a fairly high number, nothing crazy. If you have a leggy coleus, if your coleus tend to be growing leggy, that's another that's another reason why you may the reason why you may have the leggy coleus like that is too much phosphorus. So definitely check, if you're using fertilizer, definitely check the phosphorus number and quit using it. Now early on when I pot these, I always use the time release fertilizer kind of mixed in with the potting soil, and that's good for when you're developing fairly young coleus. And then later on, once they get into pots and they're big, before they're this big, obviously we're in August now, but once they're in pots and you have your arrangement and you see they're growing and so forth, then you can start in with your Miracle Grow, water soluble, or again, 24, 8, 16 plant food. And it's good to use the liquid stuff, it absorbs a lot better. And of course, if you don't have that, or you don't want to do that, or you can't, or whatever, just use a good time release, any kind of time release type of plant food. But just make sure that that number is, that phosphorus number is low, and just use that fertilizer, and you'll feed it every time you water. So, and you should be fine. You should have good coleus. And of course, number one reason I tell this to everybody, I'll say it over and over and over again, is trimming them. Just keep trimming them, and that's how you get your coleus huge, healthy, full. It's just like yourself, if you don't go to the barber, you don't get your hair cut, you don't get your hair done, what happens? You start to look unkept, and you got to take care of yourself, you got to take care of your plants. They're not going to do it on their own. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that color. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous Kong. Again, I purposely did this. I wanted this just like this is what I designed. This is exactly what I wanted. The jitters on this side, nice and full. They hang down a little bit. And these here, and this I'm letting, you can see I have seeds, stalks growing. I have the Rose of Sharon here, lots of butterfly and bees. We got a lot of bumblebee activity. Got a huge, huge amount of pollination going on here. So we need the fresh rose Kong seeds. Can never have enough of those. And I have some rose Kong seeds that are 3 years old. You can keep seeds up to 5 years old, but I get so many of them, so why? So I'll throw out, if I have a whole bunch, I know I have a lot, and I have some seeds that are 3 years old, I'll toss them, and so forth. So as far as your seed stalks, if you decided you want to grow your own coleus next year, and you want to weigh the benefits of keeping your plant and growing seed stalks, you'll see them develop as you see here. You'll start to see them pop out everywhere, just everywhere. And one seed stalk yields an awful lot of seeds. You'll get several hundred seeds off of one seed stalk. So I don't need 10,000 seeds. So I haven't really gotten to this, but here's your seed stalk developing. That's what it looks like. So pinch that off. I'll go eventually and pinch off a number of the seed stalks that I know I don't really need. I don't need 15, 20 seed stalks. So I'll just go through here and pinch off a few that I know I don't need. And that way the plant will still look really healthy. See, this one's kind of yellowing. See how it's kind of yellowing? So we'll just cut that, because we have so many seed stalks. and we'll just keep maybe 4 or 5, and they just pop up out of nowhere. So just check it every time you're coming out. You're out enjoying your plants. Check it and say, oh wow, look, I got a whole bunch here. I don't need that. I don't need those. And that's it. So every 10 days, 7 to 10 days, good Miracle Grow fertilizer, water. Again, absolute best thing is a good rainstorm, nothing heavy. Protect your coleus. If you're getting hurricane or tropical storm force winds, obviously you want to protect them, but there's nothing better than natural rain, and these do. That's probably another reason why my larger coleus do so well. Why they do so well, because they're out here. These I don't move. They're out here receiving the natural rain, and they just do really fabulously. Look at this monster. Look how huge this thing is. And again, this is that one on the Rose of Sharon, and I've said it in my other video. If you haven't seen my other previous video, this would be the ideal location for a coleus, where it gets filtered sun all day long. It gets a little bit of shade, so it doesn't get that intense beating sun, and it does real well. And as far as for seeds, this thing is very active with butterflies, bees. So we'll let this, develop seed stalks. Now it hasn't yet. We're waiting. I'm hoping this is a jitters variation. So I'm gonna have to keep trimming this out here, get these, make sure it doesn't get pushed out. That's a beautiful, look at the color on those. Really, it's like, almost like they're painted on. And this beautiful pink variation of the Rose of Khan. So we'll let these develop seed stalks as they appear. Not so much these. I have a lot of these. But this is about as high as I let it grow. I'll trim the tops off. But just continue what you're doing, feeding. Let that natural rain make the benefit of natural rain. I can't stress that enough. Again, here's my here in my multi-season garden. I can benefit using the Miracle Grow Bloom Booster. I have these monster sunflowers. Any plant that's going to bloom flowers like these butterfly bushes, sunflowers, rose, black-eyed Susans, marigolds, any plant, the Rose of Sharon, any plant that gets actual flowers need more of the phosphorus. So coleus, stick with the regular Miracle Grow green box, general purpose, high nitrogen, low phosphorus. And any plants that generally have flowers, you can use the Bloom Booster, which is high in phosphorus. Some Bloom Boosters have a rating of maybe 15, a lower nitrogen, 15, 50, 52, and 15. So if, a 15, 52, 15, or a 15, 30, 15 mix for flowers. So bloom flowers require a higher amount of phosphorus, which promotes color and blooms. Gives you much better color and much more healthy blooms. So you don't really necessarily need that for coleus because there's no flowers. True, you have the seed stalks that develop flowers. You can argue you can use that later on, but the general purpose plant food and so forth does fine for coleus.
So I hope this video helped out for those of you who want to know how, you know, when did these coleus, did they just explode like that overnight? Or when did you get your coleus that big? It's the fertilizer. It's using good quality, the correct fertilizer. This is the time of year for coleus, August, New Jersey, July, August. So basically the past month and a half or so, they've been huge like this. And trimming, proper fertilizer every 10 days, 7 to 10 days, watering, the benefits of natural rain. You do those things and I can guarantee that your coleus will grow well. So thanks for following along. I hope this answered some questions. And again, any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop me a message on my at the bottom of this video, or Instagram, Facebook. I try to check everything. I don't have the time to check all of them. That's why I don't have Twitter and those other ones, because I just don't have the time. I feel bad for some of you that maybe send me questions I don't get to. I get so many questions on videos. I have so many videos, I get questions I don't get notifications on. So if it's something you really need to get in touch with me on, Instagram, go to my Instagram page, and I tend to get those questions easier. And also you can download a picture if it's something specific. So, all right, thanks for following along, everybody. We'll see you next week.